We are 3 days away from a government shutdown if members of Congress fail to reach a deal this week.
This means hundreds of thousands of government workers will be left without pay. Ann Sbrocco joins us in studio now, and depending on how long this potential shutdown would last, we could see long-term impacts for our economy.
Yes, Bethany, Ashley, long-term and short-term. I spoke with economics expert with Old Dominion University who says depending on the length of the shutdown, we could teeter into a recession.
As House Republicans push dangerously close to a government shutdown, Hampton Roads is bracing for jabs to the economy's core.
And we're really in the bullseye of the economic impact.
Hundreds of thousands of government workers will go without pay if a deal is not reached. ODU economics professor Bob McNabb says because Hampton Roads is tied to 40% of federal funding, we could quickly see the impacts trickle down to our area.
Are the parks going to be open? Likely not. What about food inspections out in Smithfield? That's a question also. Will there be enough people at the airports to conduct security screening? Will there be people in the control towers? And if they're not getting paid, how happy are they going to be there doing their jobs?
Because the debate is among House Republicans and not between two parties, McNabb says it's harder to predict the outcome of this potential shutdown. This could leave Hampton Roads in a tricky position.
If they can't agree, or if they agree to blow things up, then nothing is going to move forward. For Hampton Roads, this means uncertainty is really high.
And if the shutdown lasts more than 60 days, McNabb says Virginia and the rest of the nation will likely get knocked into a recession. But it's up to congressional leaders to avoid this fallout.
The longer the shutdown goes on, the greater the likelihood we end up in an economic downturn next year.
And McNabb says because policymakers would not be able to obtain new economic data, they will be left incapable of predicting what would come next for our economy and how to address it. I'm Ann Sbrocco for 13 News Now.